Hello and welcome to Caravanning with the Missus. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for subscribing if you have subscribed, and if you haven't subscribed, if you wouldn't mind subscribing, that'd be great. How many times can I say subscribe in 30 seconds? Anyway, yeah, so thanks for joining. Now today's little video is about, well, it's all about my caravan wheel. Regular subscribers or regular watchers might remember that when I was going to Bakewell a couple of months ago, Bakewell site, I torqued up my wheel bolts on the caravan. Being a rookie, I've not really done that sort of thing before. Well, I always torque them up, been told to check your wheel torques before you go away. So I religiously do it before each journey. But before we went to Bakewell, I actually over torqued it, and one of the bolts just started going round and round and round and round. So of course I was quite panicky because we were just about to go on our little trip. So I phoned up our dealer, Rydale, and just to ask them if it would be okay to go with one bolt that had shredded, that the thread had shredded. And they said because it's got 5, it should be okay to go with just the 4 proper bolts and one redundant one. So yeah, so we've since been on a couple of trips, and fortunately it has been absolutely fine, thankfully. So that just goes to show that it can run on 4 bolts as opposed to 5. It's now in the dealers now, getting the bolt sorted. But before I took it into the dealers, they asked me to take the wheel off and tell them what the numbers are on the actual hub. So, you know, on the brake hub that the wheel screws into. So I thought I'd do a video of me taking the wheel off and popping it back on as well, so you guys can see what it's like, how to do it and all the rest of that, how difficult it is. Before I do embark on it, I'd just like to say a quick disclaimer: I'm no expert at all this. There's probably viewers watching that probably shriek, "Oh no, he's done what? Ah, that's really dangerous." If I have done something dangerous, then please comment below. Don't think I have. Obviously I've done a certain amount of research on YouTube for all this, and yeah. I found, you'll see during the video that I do a little test to see if it is possible to over tighten the bolts while checking the torque setting, and it is possible. Well, certainly with my torque wrench it is possible. I found what I was doing before each trip is I'd tighten each bolt until it clicked, until the wrench clicked, but then I was never too sure if I heard it click or not, so I'd pull it a little bit extra tighter just to be sure, and then it'd click again. During this video you'll see I'll do a test which just checks to see if I do that, does it still tighten the wheel bolt even further? And you'll see what the results are in a bit. But the conclusion is basically that's how I shredded it. Each time I checked the torques, I would always be over tightening them a little bit. So the moral of the story is, I believe, if you're going to check your torques on your wheel bolts, you should just loosen them about half a turn or a turn first, and then just tighten it up with the wheel bolt, with the torque wrench. Best to probably do that one at a time. If you want to loosen them all, then obviously try and work on diagonal corners, opposite corners, when you're undoing them and tightening them up. But if you just sort of loosen one bolt and then tighten that one up and until it clicks once, and then that's it, it's fine. Leave it. Okay, so if my dealers are charging me about £250 to £300 for a new hub, including labour as well. So yeah, it's not a cheap thing to go wrong, so make sure you don't make the same mistake as myself. Also, you'll see in the video that I've purchased from Prima Leisure, I've purchased the jack kit, which comprises the actual jack to pump the caravan up, and it also comprises the actual fittings where you slot the jack into on the caravan chassis. They're blue in the video. Anyway, here you go. Hope you enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't enjoyed. Right, very important, you chock the other wheel quite firmly. So I've just done that, and the caravan should also be attached to the tow car as well, both with their handbrakes on, obviously. Right, so let's just get this up finger tight. make sure, and obviously the jack should be on level hard surface. Right, and now it should be just like doing it to a car. So I'll do it carefully. Motor movers disengaged, handbrakes on. Right, hear it creaking a little bit. That's one loose. And opposite. I think this one feels like it's the knackered one, because I've got one with a broken thread, which is why I'm doing all this. That one's loose. Right, so I've loosened the nuts in opposing corners, so like that one first, then that one, and then this one, and then that one, and then that one. Loosened them, and now I'm just taking them all out. So, hang on. It'll help if I put the lock nut on, locking wheel nut. There you go. I think that one's the one with a knackered thread. I'm not 100% sure. Find out when I'm tightening it up. So that's that one. That one. So I have to make sure that one goes in the same hole as well. Here comes the wheel. Just lifting the wheel up a bit so I can get the screw out. There it is. So I'll leave this one a separate place there, so I know that that's this one here. Yeah, and it looks like it's been not quite right as well, doesn't it? So the dealer wants a number. Let's just take a photograph. Several numbers. There's that number, and there's these numbers here. Let's take a photo of that one and that one. Looking at it, doesn't seem to be any other numbers. No. Okay. Yeah, that definitely looks like it's not a very happy thread. All the others are flush, but this one's actually raised around the edge and just there. Okay, so let's pop it back on now. Make sure everything else looks okay. Alright. So this is all good experience for if I actually get a puncture. I'll know what to do. Push out the little hubcap. That comes out. So I can actually see where the hub is. And there it is. Oh, okay, so it does actually rest on it. A bit loosely. Okay. Yeah, so I'll have to put a couple of screws in. And then lift it up a bit. Down there. I can feel it going in. As these are all got chamfered, beveled edges, whatever you call it. Sort of. So I'll move the wheel into position as it's going in. So again, what I'll do is I'll tighten these up, every other one a bit at a time, to make sure they're all biting at the correct point. That's it. Get that one in. I've bought some bulk bolt lock glue as well. This is a temporary fix for this one, for the one with the shredded thread. So to tighten them all up, first of all I have to set the torque. It should be 130 Newton meters on the torque wrench. So to do that, we'll just loosen this bolt there, and then we've got 130 Newton meters. So look for, if it's focused in, 130, this is the Newton meter scale, 130, we've got 126 there, which goes down to that line there. So I've got to tighten this bit up to 126, which is there, 126. So it's 126 with a 0 on the vertical scale, so that's 126 line going off to 126 with a 0 on the vertical scale, so that means that's 126
Newton meters. So what I do then, I want 130, so just add 4 onto it, and we've now got 4 lined up with the vertical scale just above 126 now, so that's 130 Newton meters. Let's switch, that's not switch the other way, and then focus back on the wheel. Now, so I'll start by tightening up. Oh, hang on, where's my lock nut? Start by tightening up that a bit. And then over here. And then, well, this one next, I suppose. Do that one. And then I'll do this one. Just doing a hand tight at the minute. Little knot. I think it's all right. Pop that on. Then, this is dodgy, you want to put a bit of black electrician's tape on it there. There's the postman with a very loud radio. Didn't manage to get this one in very far by hand, so I've got a long way to go. Unless, of course, it's just going round and round, which I think it is actually. Oh no, there it is. A bit tighter there. I won't do it any tighter than that. Just do the other ones a bit tighter now. Oh, so now this is what I'm going to do. I'll check my torque again. So we're 100 and 126 for right. Also, I forgot to mention, just tighten it up when you've got the right torque setting. Tighten it up with a bolt and the lock nut at the end. You need to keep checking that lock nut. I've noticed it comes undone quite a bit. So we're on 130. So let's get going until it clicks. Oops. That's that one. Just moved a little bit. It's locked, I heard the wheel lock. Bit tighter. Now I wouldn't mind just testing this, because what I want to do, what I have a suspicion it does, it might go, when you do it up to the preset torque, it clicks. But then if you test it, so next time I go on holiday, what I tend to do is pull it so that it clicks. And I wonder if pulling it that second time when it clicks, if that actually moves it. So to test that, I'm going to set my torque wrench down to 100 Newton meters. So we're on 98. So we're on 100 Newton meters. Lock it. Just tighten it up to 100 till it clicks. There it is. So it just clicked. Now I'm keeping my eye on it. There it is. So that bit's just a slight diagonal like that. And see if I move it again. So it's on 100. It's just clicked. If I try and tighten it up again, will it actually move before clicking? Oh, no, it didn't. No, it's not moved at all. But I can tighten it a bit further. Oh, I see. So basically when it clicks, stop. But I can, if I keep pushing after it's clicked, I can tighten it further. So that's possibly where I went wrong. So let's set it back to undo the lock nut. Undo the lock nut at the end. It won't undo, hang on. There it is, undo the lock nut. Up to 126. There, plus 4. There, lock it back in. Alright, so it's the correct torque setting now. Just check that it's still on 140 with the lock nut on. There it is, it's clicked. That's clicked. That's clicked. That's still clicked. And this one, well, I'll leave that one alone. So I'll just check them all again, but make sure this time when it clicks, make sure I don't move them any further. So I'm watching them closely. So I moved a bit, so I just clicked it. Moved very slightly. It hasn't moved, it just clicked. Back to this one again. So it did move very, very slightly. Anyway, there we go. Pop the smart little hub back on, hubcap. Smart. Great. And then get the lock nut. And then put the jack down, unchock it, and break off, move it back home. So that's about it. Thank you very much for watching. So the moral of the story is, if you're going to check your torques on your wheel nuts, then make sure you just loosen them a little bit before you start. Otherwise you can over torque them quite easily, which is what I did, being a rookie. So yeah, the postman came, as you heard in that, and he was actually delivering my, let's have a look at the computer of my, right, he actually delivered the Evo Stick bolt locker glue. I got 2 of those from Amazon, didn't cost much, ooh, tenner, something like that, less than that. But anyway, so yeah, he delivered that, and then after didn't get this on film, but after I stopped filming, what I did was I took the nut out of the wheel, the shredded nut out, and then just put quite a lot of the glue over the thread, all over the thread of the bolt, and then pushed it in and then screwed it back into the screw, just as tight as I can get it to go before it starts spinning, and then just leave that there. They say you should just leave it there for 24 hours and it should harden, and that's all I did. So it's quite easy to fit. As I say, since then we've done probably about 2 or 3 caravan journeys, holidays, and it's been fine, but thankfully it's now getting fixed for peace of mind. So hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you don't mind. It helps us on YouTube, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one. Ta-ra for now.